Our colleague, Ali Abunimah, was arrested in Switzerland. Ali is the founder of Electronic Intifada, which is the indispensable source on all news and commentary related to Israel, Palestine. And, what I think not enough people have been pointing out is Ali is the premier Palestinian critic of the European Union and its
Yes.
hypocrisy. And so, in many ways, this seems like retaliation.
Yep.
Ali was arrested by Swiss police ahead of a speaking event in Zurich, which was being hosted by the Palestine Committee in Zurich on Saturday afternoon. He's currently detained, has access to legal counsel. He was questioned by police for an hour when he arrived in Zurich, but he was allowed into the country. And as we all know, this is part of a growing backlash against Palestine solidarity activism, especially in the UK, where like everyone I know involved in solidarity activism there has gotten a summons from the police. One figure who was arrested in October 2023 for distributing a pamphlet. He was arrested for distributing a pamphlet that was anti-Zionist, has released his detention footage. So this is part of a growing trend. And I've gotten word from some friends that Ali is due to be released today and deported, but I can't really confirm that. That's what I'm hearing. But he's been in prison, Aaron, or jail for 3 days straight, right? I mean, this is a prolonged detention. We don't know what he's been subjected to there. And he's been smeared, as we'll see, by the security minister.
Yeah, he was detained over the weekend ahead of a speaking event. And yeah, we still have not heard anything as we're airing this right now on Monday afternoon. And I totally agree with you. Ali's been at the forefront of calling out the hypocrisy of these European states who, have spent money, to NGOs that support Palestine, both in Europe and on the ground. And but they've done that, I think, in large part to basically cover up for their ongoing support for Israel, their crucial support for Israel. And Ali's been at the forefront of calling them out for their hypocrisy while claiming to support Palestinian rights while enabling Israel every step of the way, as we've seen since the genocide began with people like the German foreign minister and others who have just bent over backwards to support Israel's genocide of Gaza. And Ali Abunimah has every day is basically calling them out and pointing out the hypocrisy in their statements of support for Palestinian rights. Because, at least in public, European leaders generally make statements that are more sympathetic with Palestinian rights than U.S. leaders do. Because in Europe, there's just a strong base of support for Palestinian liberation. And so leaders there are more vulnerable to public opinion and, cater their words accordingly. But their actions speak louder than words. And Ali Abunimah has been just invaluable in calling out all the ways in which Europe has given support to Israel's occupation of the West Bank and Gaza. And since October 7th, 2023, it's genocide.
Well, we've just confirmed that Ali Abunimah has been deported by Switzerland through his colleague at EI, Tamara Nasser. So he was deported by Switzerland on Monday after spending 2 nights in jail. Well, actually, let me get it right here. Let me get this on screen. He arrived, previous day. 3 plainclothes police officers violently arrested Abunimah on Saturday and forced him into an unmarked vehicle without disclosing where he was being taken. I didn't know that. That's pretty shocking. So they grabbed him off the street. Asa Winstanley from Electronic Intifada has been raided by British counter-terror police. 2 UN human rights experts have condemned the detention of Abunimah by Swiss authorities. So he was violently arrested on the street after being allowed in. Ali was smeared in Swiss media after being arrested by the security minister, whose name is we'll talk about the security minister in a second. This is a quote from him referring to him as an Islamist who supports violence and Iran's war on Israel, and a potential terrorist in a report on his arrest. And the security minister is Mario Ware, who appears to be a Zionist fanatic. I mean, he is a Zionist fanatic. He says he's a Zionist fanatic. He's a pro-Israel goon. He's basically an asset of the Zionist movement. This is a photo of him speaking at a pro-Israel event. Solidarity with Israel, October 10th, 2023 in Zurich. And he's the security minister for Zurich, for the Zurich region. In 2016, he comes from the Social Democratic Party, he comes from the liberal center left in Switzerland. In 2016, he was one of the leading figures in that party, calling for a ban on the niqab, which covers the face and not the eyes. He's very aligned with the anti-Islamic sentiments also of the Swiss and Western European right. I mean, but that picture really speaks volumes about who this character is. And in an interview, Mario Ware boasted about his role in banning Palestine solidarity demonstrations in Zurich. I mean, just an all-out attack on the speech of anti-genocide advocates. I've strongly advised the responsible municipal security officer not to authorize any more Palestine demonstrations in the current dangerous situation. Such demonstrations can quickly escalate and are difficult to control. The municipalities in the canton of Zurich that are responsible for issuing permits for demonstrations should be aware of their responsibility. So criminalizing speech is part of the Israeli agenda, and they're deploying assets like Mario Ware to imprison journalists, renowned journalists, brand them as Islamists when Ali Abunimah is not an Islamist. He is secular. That's not a value judgment-based statement. It's just a fact. And brand them as anti-Semitic terrorists when I guarantee you Ali has more Jewish friends, like actual Jewish friends, than Mario Ware, who basically just gets, paid by his Jewish friends.
And there's, this follows Germany banning a prominent British Palestinian doctor, Dr. Ghassan Abu Sita, who was supposed to give a lecture in Germany. He was denied entry to the country because I guess Germany couldn't tolerate him talking about treating wounded people in Gaza as Gaza was being destroyed with Germany's support. The fact that they would go after Switzerland too, which is supposed to be a neutral country known for brokering peace, even Switzerland getting in on this, it speaks to how just completely subordinate the civilized West has become to this foreign apartheid state, willing to arrest people and deport people on its behalf. It's a growing trend. I mean, here in the U.S., there are deportation lists being drawn up for people. A group called Beitar recently called for Masab Abu Toha, the Palestinian poet who's now at Syracuse University, for him to be deported, urging the Trump administration to do that. And the Trump administration undoubtedly has people who are going to listen to that and take that seriously.
Yeah. Beitar is the group that was actually founded by Zev Jabotinsky, who is the intellectual inspiration for Netanyahu and the Likud party, the revisionist Zionism. And this youth movement actually had a wing in Germany that began wearing brown shirts because they admired Hitler and his movement leading up to 1933 in Weimar, Germany. Jabotinsky had to order them to stop wearing brown shirts. They have a youth division in the US now, which is seeking to collect data on college students and feeding it to the Trump administration to deport as many Palestine activists on campus as possible, because, Aaron, Trump has authorized the deportation of protesters who are here on a visa, which was a key demand of the Israel lobby throughout the Biden administration.
Yeah. And again, going back to what we talked about earlier, Trump claiming to restore free speech. Well, his top aides are very open to deporting people for expressing their free speech rights about Palestine.
We're going to be talking about this a lot in the next year. And we are going to hear from Ali, I assume, on the Electronic Intifada live stream. I think they stream every Thursday. So it'll be really interesting to hear what actually went down from his perspective.